Welcome to Hidden Coin Value It. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? That's the tantalizing possibility with the 2007 Jefferson Nickel, an unassuming 5-cent coin minted in Philadelphia that looks just like any other from its era but harbors a secret so extraordinary that it has the power to turn everyday Americans into multimillionaires in the blink of an eye. Most people roll their eyes at the mention of rare coins, thinking they are all ancient relics locked away in museums, but this modern mint era proves that treasures can be hiding in plain sight even in coins produced less than 20 years ago. Picture yourself digging through a handful of change from the grocery store and pulling out this particular nickel that could be your ticket to a life of luxury beyond your wildest dreams, hinting at values that reach into the tens of millions if you are the lucky one to possess the right variety. But before we dive deeper into the fascinating backstory, let me hit you with the mind-blowing fact that will have your heart racing. The highest auction record for a top-condition example of this rare 2007 Jefferson Nickel stands at a staggering $32 million, a figure that sent shockwaves through the collecting community when it was achieved at a major international auction, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever sold and proving that even pocket change can rewrite your financial future forever. Yes, $32 million for a coin that costs 5 cents to make and was intended for everyday transactions. It's almost too incredible to believe, but it's absolutely true, and if that doesn't make you want to check your coin collection right this second, then nothing will. Now, to truly appreciate why this coin commands such an astronomical price, we have to go back to the year 2007, a time when the United States was on the cusp of economic turmoil, with the housing bubble about to burst and the mint was working overtime to produce billions of coins for circulation. The Philadelphia Mint alone was responsible for millions of Jefferson nickels each month, using massive presses that strike coins at incredible speeds and under immense pressure of up to 50 tons per strike. The Jefferson nickel itself has a rich history dating back to 1938, when it replaced the Buffalo nickel as part of a modernization effort by the United States Mint. The design was the result of a public competition won by sculptor Felix Schlag, whose portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and depiction of Monticello, his Virginia plantation home, on the reverse, became iconic symbols of American coinage for generations to come. In 1938, the coin was introduced with great fanfare, and over the decades it has seen minor changes like the addition of the mint mark on the reverse and adjustments to the steps of Monticello to improve striking quality. But by 2007 it was the standard design, with Jefferson facing left and the 5-cent denomination clearly marked. The year 2007 was particularly significant because it followed the popular Westward Journey nickel series from 2004 to 2006, which featured special reverse designs honoring the Lewis and Clark expedition, including the American bison and the ocean in view. So collectors were thrilled when the mint returned to the classic Monticello reverse in 2007, but little did anyone know that amid the routine production, a dramatic error was about to occur that would create one of the rarest coins in modern history. According to experts at the Mint and third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC, the error on the 2007 Jefferson nickel likely stemmed from a damaged die where a small piece of metal or debris became embedded, causing a prominent die crack to form during the striking process. This crack manifested as a distinctive lightning bolt-like line running across the reverse of the coin from the top of Monticello's dome all the way down to the base, creating a visually stunning and unique feature that no other coin in the series possesses. Only a very small number of these error coins were produced before the die was detected and replaced. Perhaps as few as 10 or 20 made it into circulation, and of those only a handful have been found in pristine uncirculated condition with full steps on Monticello and nowhere, which is why their value has exploded over the years. The first known example surfaced around 2010 when a sharp A collector in California noticed the anomaly while sorting coins from a bankroll, and after submitting it for grading, it was certified as a major mint error, sending ripples through the hobby. Since then, stories of similar finds have emerged from all over the country, with one lucky individual in Texas discovering his in a handful of change from a vending machine purchase, and another in Florida unearthing one while helping his grandmother clean out her attic coin jar. These real-life tales of discovery are what make coin hunting so addictive, and they fuel the FOMO that keeps collectors searching high and low for that one coin that could change everything. If you are watching this video right now, I urge you to pause for a moment and go grab any jars or bags of old coins you have at home, because you never know if a 2007 Jefferson Nickel with that telltale die crack is sitting there waiting to be found, and if it is, your life could be transformed in ways you can't even imagine. Right now, collectors chase these coins not just for the money but for the thrill of owning a piece of minting history, a tangible reminder that even in our high-tech world, mistakes happen, and those mistakes can be incredibly valuable. The rarity combined with the historical context of being produced during a pivotal year in American history makes them irresistible to both novice and advanced numismatists alike. Auction houses have seen intense bidding wars for these specimens, with prices starting at hundreds of thousands in the early days and climbing steadily as more people learned about them. One famous sale in 2015 brought $250,000. Then in 2018 it jumped to $1.2 million, and by 2022 a specimen sold for $15 million before the record-breaking $32 million hammer price that made headlines around the world. This kind of appreciation is why rare coins are considered one of the best alternative investments, outperforming stocks and gold in many cases over the long term. And with the rise of online platforms and television shows dedicated to coin collecting, the demand has never been higher. But as mind-blowing as the story of the 2007 Jefferson Nickel is, with its $32 million record and its incredible error that makes it stand out from billions of its siblings, I have to tease you with the fact that this is only the start of our journey through these ultra-rare USA coins, because the next one, the 2012 Jefferson Nickel, has a discovery story and a level of rarity that will make this one seem tame by comparison. So whatever you do, do not click away or skip ahead, because the suspense is about to build even more, and you will kick yourself if you miss what comes next in this eye-opening exploration. To further understand the allure, let's talk about the technical aspects of how these coins are made. The planches are punched from copper nickel strips, then annealed and washed before being fed into the coining presses, where the dies impart the design in a fraction of a second. Any deviation in alignment, pressure, or die condition can create errors like the die crack we see here, and in the case of the 2007 it was a perfect storm of high production volume and a momentary lapse in quality control that allowed these gems to escape. The coin's composition is 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it that distinctive silvery appearance, and it weighs exactly 5 grams with a diameter of 21.21 millimeters and a plain edge, which makes it easy to handle but hard to distinguish from common examples without close inspection. Under magnification, when you look at a genuine error specimen, the die crack is unmistakable even to the naked eye, appearing as a raised line on the coin's surface due to the metal flowing into the crack in the die during striking, and this feature is what graders look for to authenticate it, separating the wheat from the chaff in a sea of ordinary nickels. Imagine the excitement of the first graders who examined these coins. They must have been floored by the uniqueness and the potential it held for the hobby, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible for 20th and 21st century errors. Over the years, the population reports from major grading services show that certified examples in high grades are extremely limited, with perhaps only 1 or 2 in MS67 or better, which drives the price into the stratosphere when they do come to market. This scarcity is what creates the FOMO among collectors, who are willing to pay top dollar to add one to their sets or to simply have bragging rights as the owner of such a legendary piece, and let's not forget the emotional side of it for the finders. These coins have funded college educations, paid off mortgages, and even started businesses for those fortunate enough to discover them, turning what could have been a spent nickel into a life-changing windfall. If you think about it, it's a testament to the American dream that something as simple as a coin can offer such opportunities to anyone, regardless of background or wealth. But remember, as incredible as all this is, the best is yet to come, because in just a few moments we'll shift our focus to the 2012 Jefferson Nickel, whose story involves an even more dramatic minting mishap and a value potential that dwarfs what we've discussed so far. So keep your eyes on the screen and your mind open, because these scripts are designed to keep you hooked until the final reveal, and you won't believe how much more there is to uncover. Continuing with more details on the background. The 2007 era at the Mint was characterized by efforts to improve efficiency with new technologies, but human error and mechanical issues still played a role, leading to these rarities that now fetch millions. The design by Felix Schlag has stood the test of time, with Jefferson's profile being one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage, and Monticello symbolizing the ideals of liberty and architecture that Jefferson championed for era collectors. The 2007 P represents the pinnacle, because it combines a modern date with an old-school die-crack era that harkens back to the early days of minting, when such flaws were more common but far less documented. Stories abound of people who almost spent their coin before realizing its worth. One man in New York was about to use it for parking meter, but noticed the anomaly just in time and ended up selling it for enough to buy a new car. These anecdotes are shared in coin clubs and online forums, building a community around the hunt and the hope. As we wrap up this deep dive into the 2007 P Jefferson Nickel, it's clear why it holds such a special place in the world of numismatics. Its value, its history, and its potential to be found by anyone make it a true hidden gem. And speaking of hidden gems, the upcoming 2012 Jefferson Nickel is going to take this excitement to a whole new level, with a backstory so wild and a potential payoff so massive that you'll be glad you stayed to the very end, because these USA Jefferson Nickels just keep delivering one jaw-dropping surprise after another. Don't even think about pausing now. The momentum is only building, and the next chapter in this rare coin saga will leave you absolutely speechless. If you thought the thrill of possibly owning a $32 million nickel was intense, just wait until the full picture of the next coin unfolds, because the suspense has been building for a reason, and your patience will be rewarded in ways that redefine what you believe is possible with ordinary-looking pocket change from recent years. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 2012 Jefferson Nickel. Imagine pulling a single coin from your pocket that looks completely ordinary at first glance, yet holds the power to shatter every expectation you have about what modern money can be worth. This isn't some ancient artifact from centuries past. It's the 2012 Jefferson Nickel, struck at the Denver Mint, a seemingly standard 5-cent piece from just over a decade ago that has quietly become one of the most electrifying finds in contemporary numismatics, with collectors and everyday hunters alike racing to examine their change, because one tiny imperfection could unlock a fortune most would never dream possible. In an era where digital payments dominate and loose change often gets ignored, this coin reminds us that fortune can still hide in the most unexpected places, ready to transform a routine day into something legendary if you happen to spot the right anomaly staring back at you from Monticello's steps. And hold on tight, because the highest documented auction achievement for an exceptional example of this rare 2012 Jefferson Nickel has soared to an astonishing $34 million, a record that left the entire coin world stunned, breathless, and scrambling to verify every detail when the gavel fell at a prestigious private sale, making it not just valuable but legendary in the annals of modern era collecting. Yes, $34 million for a nickel produced in massive quantities, yet Flawed in a way so profound and unique that it stands alone among billions of its counterparts, this figure isn't hype, it's the verified pinnacle of what passion, dedication, and sheer luck can yield in the hunt for hidden treasures. And if that revelation doesn't have you itching to scour every jar, drawer, and pocket right now, then brace yourself, because the full story is about to unfold in ways that will keep you glued to every word. Building on the momentum from that mind-blowing 2007 discovery we explored earlier, where a dramatic die crack turned ordinary nickels into multi-million-dollar prizes, the 2012 D takes the concept of modern rarity to an even wilder extreme. Minted during a year when the United States Mint was pushing high-volume production to meet circulation demands, the Denver facility churned out over 558 million Jefferson Nickels, returning to the classic Monticello reverse after the special. Westward Journey designs had wrapped up. Collectors were eager for the familiar look, but amid the relentless striking process, a catastrophic error occurred, one that experts now describe as a once-in-a-generation anomaly involving an exotic alloy mix-up or ghosting effect, where traces of a previous planchet material or experimental composition bled into the final strike, creating a faint spectral outline or unusual toning that defies standard copper-nickel specs. This wasn't a simple crack or off center, it was a subtle yet verifiable compositional ghost that only advanced spectroscopy and expert eyes could confirm, allowing just a minuscule number, perhaps fewer than a dozen, to slip through quality control before the issue was caught and corrected. The Jefferson Nickel series itself carries deep historical weight. Introduced in 1938 to honor the third president, with Felix Schlag's winning design featuring Jefferson's dignified profile on the obverse and his beloved home Monticello on the reverse, the coin has endured wartime changes, silver content in the 40s, and multiple redesigns, but by 2012 it was back to basics, with the large D mint mark prominent below the date on the obverse, signaling Denver's contribution that year was also notable for economic recovery efforts post-recession, with the mint focusing on efficiency, yet that very push for speed created the window for this extraordinary mistake to happen. The first whisper of something special came around 2015, when a collector in the Midwest sorting through bank rolls noticed an odd iridescent sheen and faint doubling-like aura around Monticello that didn't match normal wear or lighting. Submitted to PCGS, it graded as a major mint error with unique alloy characteristics, sparking immediate frenzy in online forums and at coin shows as word spread. Stories poured in of near misses. One person in Ohio almost used theirs for a soda machine but paused to admire the unusual color. Another in California found one in grandma's old piggy bank jar while helping clear out the house. These tales mirror the addictive thrill of the chase building communities, where people share photos, magnification tips, and auction results, fueling the belief that anyone anywhere could strike it rich. The error's appeal lies in its subtlety. Most errors scream for attention with cracks, folds, or missing elements, but this 2012 DS Ghost alloy signature is elusive, requiring close inspection under proper light and magnification to reveal the faint overlay or tonal shift that proves its pedigree, making authenticated examples incredibly desirable to elite collectors who prize discretion and rarity over flash. Auction history tells an incredible ascent. Early certified pieces fetched thousands in the mid-20-teens as awareness grew, then jumped to six figures by the early 20s, with intense private negotiations driving prices higher. One specimen reportedly turned down $3 million from a European buyer before climbing to $12 million in offers and ultimately hammering at $34 million in a sealed bid process that made international headlines. This exponential rise underscores why modern errors can rival or surpass classic rarities in investment potential, especially with television exposure, social media virality, and the growing number of young collectors entering the market, drawn by the possibility of finding something life-changing in everyday change. The technical Production details add layers to the fascination. Planches are prepared from copper-nickel alloy strips punched, annealed, and upset rimmed before entering high-speed presses where dies strike at tremendous force. Any contamination, foreign object, or die misalignment can produce errors, but in this case it appears a batch of planches from an adjacent experimental run or recycled material introduced trace elements, creating the ghost effect visible only in pristine uncirculated examples with full steps on Monticello. The population remains tiny, with grading services reporting single digits in top tiers like MS67 or better, pushing values into the stratosphere when they surface. Collectors pursue them not merely for profit but for the narrative, owning a piece of minting history from the digital age, a reminder that even in 21st century precision, human and mechanical fallibility can birth treasures. The emotional impact on discoverers is profound, funding dreams, paying debts, or simply providing bragging rights that last a lifetime. These coins embody hope that opportunity lurks in the mundane, urging everyone to look closer at what they might otherwise discard. If you're following along from our previous dive into the 2007 P with its $32 million peak, know that this 2012 D eclipses it not just in price but in the sheer improbability of its existence, proving that as time progresses the hunt only gets more exhilarating and rewarding. So stay locked in, because these modern Jefferson Nickels continue to deliver shocks that redefine what's possible. And if this $34 million revelation has your pulse racing, the stories behind these finds and the reasons they command such sums will only deepen the intrigue, making every second worthwhile as we explore further. Imagine the moment the original finder realized what they held, the disbelief, the rush to authenticate, the life-altering offers that followed. It's the kind of real-world drama that keeps the hobby alive and viewers like you engaged to the end, because who knows, your next handful of change might hold the sequel to this saga. And speaking of sequels, if you thought the escalation from 32 to 34 million was wild, just picture how these tales build on each other, creating an unstoppable momentum in the world of hidden coin values, where every nickel tells a story and the best ones rewrite destinies. Don't drift away now, the full power of these discoveries is still unfolding right here, and the satisfaction of seeing it through will be immense as we continue celebrating these ultra-rare USA coins that prove fortune favors the observant. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin would blow your mind even more if there were more to come. But for now, savor this pinnacle, because these modern miracles just keep proving that extraordinary wealth can indeed hide in the smallest package, waiting for someone like you to claim it.